The fourth state of matter. In the fourth state of matter, Joanne Beard combines a memoir and reportage in a deeply moving essay that depicts the traumatizing effect of a workplace shooting. The events preceding a mass shooting that took place in the University of Iowa in 1991, where a physics student shot five people, including Bates' colleagues, are reflected in the author's snapshot of memories. Through rich storytelling, Baird analyzes themes of loss and loneliness, change, and struggle to survive. The fourth state of matter, which is named plasma, serves as a metaphor in the disorder and transformation that takes place in both narrator's life and in physics. The most stunning element of Beatt's essay is the form it takes. She combines her interdependent storylines, such as her crumbling marriage, her old dog, and the mundane interactions with co workers in the physics department. Such weaving of professional and personal life creates a facade of normality and makes the tragedy even more shocking. The essay becomes more impactful because of how Baird structures the story. It begins with the mundane: the dog is shitting, there is a squirrel in the attic, there is a phone call from the estranged husband at midnight. These details paint a picture of the life being slowly shadowed by the problematic graduate student who later goes on to commit the murders. While absorbing these details, the readers are completely oblivious to the horror that is approaching. The build-up takes time, much like grief. It builds steadily and often catches people off guard in the most unremarkable way. Beard's narrative techniques are manifold, but the most important one is the first person perspective. As she describes her emotions and experience, the essay crosses over into the deeply personal and almost confessional. This voice is both intimate and distanced, mirroring the numbness that overcomes most people after experiencing trauma. She paints events with a lot of description, but even with so much detail, the outcomes are what carry the most weight. The fourth state of matter is centered around loss, both personal and universal. Bates' marriage is crashing down while her estranged husband calls her, keeping her in a wreck of both presence and absence. Simultaneously, her elderly collie Bobo is also nearing the end of its life, making her grapple with the reality of saying farewell. Her personal losses stem from the larger, more unforeseen tragedy that takes place at her workplace, showcasing how life, in all its essence, is unpredictable and fragile. Plasma, much like Bates' state of life, is described as an unstable and damaged phase. Matter, as described in science, is unstable and exists within an atom, and there lies great instability in Bates' life. Her relationships are crumbling, the body of her dog is decaying, and the emotions that are felt at the surface of the routines are volatile. Change, as is often the case, is a certainty that requires abdication to a life described through plasma. Another form of impermanence that is significant is the representation of time in the essay. The way trauma blurs time makes a linear structure impossible to achieve, depicting how memory and grief are intertwined. The past, present, and future can all be witnessed at once. One exists within the loop void of singular nature. Even after the shooting, life continues in strange, fragmented way. Colleagues who survived must return to work, the university must carry on, and Beard herself must reckon with the silence left in the absence of those who are gone. Rather than presenting violence as an event that is explosive and cinematic, Beard views it as an underlying constant that slowly simmers until it needs to explode. Gang Lu, the shooter, is introduced early in the beginning in a way that does not seem to be dangerous. He is portrayed as a frustrated and socially awkward graduate student who is exceedingly disappointed with the academic system. Unlike other authors, Beard describes but not sensationalize him. He is like any other person that she interacts with on a daily basis. This makes his violent outburst all the more disturbing. Baird's choice to seamlessly blend the shooter into the story depicts the essence of the unexpected violence. No over the top prediction, no strong intuition or preceding events that would enable certain anticipation of the tragedy were present. This cleverness highlights the arbitrary nature of these circumstances and the powerlessness of the victims. It also denotes the lens through which most survivors experience trauma. Instead of clear thoughts immediately, what they experience is confusion, disbelief, and the lingering, haunting what if. Letting in heavy matter, Bates' essay, The Fourth State Matter, is fundamentally about survival. Bates does not provide a closure or moral for readers to take away. Instead, she makes survival a process. After the shooting, it is left vague and how she deals with the aftermath, but she affords her audience the opportunity to understand the subtle way in which she progresses. The interactions with the dog, the phone calls with her distanced spouse, and even the return to the mindless tasks of daily life indicate that there is life going on, despite the transformation that took place after that. The essay elaborates on the process of reformation as well. The troubled metaphors of plasma can symbolize more than instability. It can symbolize substance. That represents the fourth state of matter. She has gone through so much in life that there is almost nothing left. And yet, there is some section of her life where she manages to adapt. The essay concludes on a low but optimistic note in a sense that the past meaning fully remains and the future is still out there to be crafted. Emotionally, she moves delicately yet powerfully. For both of her impacts are very intense. Baird has a way of depicting her dog shedding fur by claiming clouds of undercoat lifting and rolling like tumbleweeds. These lines, along with the imagery, actually captures perfectly the process of shedding fur images, shedding and also represents beautifully the diminishing form of permanence. The shifts in the tone of the writing is humor, nostalgia, and sorrow, making it blend with the humanity. She balances light moments of losing her squirrel friend in the attic along with the stubbornness of her dog to the weight of tragedy. In no way does this allow extreme over dramatization of sentiment, emotions feels free to come out. Yet another factor that enhances Beard's writing is how she records details and tells a chronicle. Her experience is splashed by different sounds, visuals, and sensation which go ahead to make the reader step into her life and feel the world as she does. The unique smell of a dog alongside her colleague's voice topped with blood soaked furniture all blend to make the reader's experience unforgettable even after finishing the piece. The fourth state of matter is an essay that blends memo with journalism, individual grief with collective tragedy. Through the stream of consciousness technique and non linear narrative format, it explored the theme of resilience amidst violence. The life appearing fragmented is depicted with trauma and grief. Despite atrocities, life must go on carrying the burden of the past and accepting it. This is the message of this essay. Thank you.